What was that?
What?
What was that?
Nothing.
Ah! Asshole! Everybody! Assholes!
Is exactly what all of us think about Rockstar for edging us with Trailer 2 and keeping the release date of GTA 6 a mystery.
Where the fuck?
GTA 6.
Now, let me ask you a really dumb question. If a guy screams at strangers, casually commits war crimes in cargo pants, and basically eats people, is he actually crazy? Or is he just Canadian? Well, in this case, unfortunately for everyone's second favorite nation in the world, Trevor Philips is both. And in today's video, we'll be talking about the wildest and most unhinged character Rockstar has ever dropped into a digital world. Now, we all already know that he definitely is a lunatic, a psychopath that ended up unaliving the one GTA protagonist no one actually liked that much, not even Rockstar. But if you don't really pay attention to him, you can see that he's one of those characters where if you turn off the radio and mute the dialogue, he might look like a discount version of the Joker with a bad case of gonorrhea. But once you start paying attention and actually listen to him, observing his actions, you will start to realize something that is kinda messed up. Trevor might be the only one in GTA 5 who's actually honest.
Goddamn right.
In a world of fake hands, fake teeth, and fake friendships, this man stands butt naked, exposing both his filthy side as well as the good side he has for everyone to see. He doesn't wear any masks unless a heist requires it. He doesn't fake his feelings and doesn't pretend to be a good person only to backstab you 5 minutes later like some people we won't name. Michael. Trevor is what he is, and he doesn't really run away from it. He's a man who's been tossed away his entire life, be it by his parents, the military, and even his best friend. And instead of crying about it, he became the human equivalent of a Molotov cocktail, ready to engulf things in flames if you light up his fuse. In this video, we're not gonna meme Trevor to death. I mean, maybe just a little, but we will do it so that it's easy to understand his complex personality. See, Trevor isn't just a crazy guy or a plot device used by Rockstar to make the player engage freely in their daily activities within the GTA world. No, Trevor is actually a character with some seriously deep trauma tied to him. I mean, he's basically a nesting doll with multiple layers of trauma accompanying each new iteration. Now, Rockstar didn't give us a full-blown Trevor origin movie, although I would pay actual money for Young Trevor the musical, which would probably take Broadway by storm. But what we do know is the fact that Trevor grew up in Canada, in what he describes as a toxic household. His childhood was something that you probably would see as part of a true crime documentary on Netflix, with both his parents being absolutely horrible folks. One thing I have to say is that it's actually funny imagining Trevor as a teenager, hell, even as a baby. I mean, let's be real. Can you even imagine that yourself?
Oh. Hey there, Forrest. Goo goo gaga.
In his early adult years, Trevor tried to join the military in hopes of becoming a pilot, and what's really sad about this part is the fact that he actually had a natural gift for the craft. He was a legit talent for flying planes. I mean, dude had the skill to easily star in Top Gun alongside Tom Cruise, and for once in his life, something actually was clicking. Unfortunately, that didn't last too long as he got kicked out shortly because of psychological issues.
Don't you ever not tell me things I want to know!
So what does a man do when every institution, family, military, or society throws him away? He stops trying to fit in. And that's basically Trevor Philips in a nutshell for you. He wasn't a monster that just walked out of the woods one day foaming at the mouth. He was shaped by rejection, sharpened by betrayal, and instead of crying about it, he embraced it. This is where his criminal life begins. Smuggling, drug dealing, violence. Trevor built a career out of telling the world, "You don't want me? Fine. But you'll wish that you never met me." But even through all that rage and mad-fueled madness, there was one guy who made Trevor feel like he had something more to offer. A silver-tongued orc named Michael Townley. And I say that with nothing but love towards everyone's favorite in-game dad. He just looks like a midlife crisis, grew a beard, and got addicted to lying. To Trevor, Michael wasn't just a partner in crime. He was an entire lifeline. Their friendship wasn't some casual thing like, "Yo bro, let's rob a bank." Nah, this thing was deeper, messier, and honestly, in a way, borderline romantic. Not in a smoochy kind of way, although who knows with Trevor.
Everybody's welcome in our bed.
But in that ride or die, you're the only person who's ever seen me kind of way. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like these two were the original Jason and Seal.
Trust?
Trust.
Trevor and Michael started working together after Trevor left Canada and began smuggling across the border. Michael shows up slick, manipulative, and confident, and Trevor, this unhinged ball of trauma, sees someone who finally treats him like an equal. In a way, they become a two-man wrecking crew, robbing banks, outsmarting cops, causing chaos, but doing it all together. Of course, with others joining along the way. But Michael was his anchor. The only person in the world who could talk Trevor down from a meltdown instead of ending up duct taped in a freezer. And for Trevor, that kinda meant something. I mean, not something, but everything. And the sad part about this is that Trevor really would have died for Michael. And he even says it. He means it. Hell, he even has RIP Michael tattooed on his arm. This is a man who would commit arson on a Tuesday just to make Michael smile. But Michael, being the slippery bastard that he is, was already looking for a way out. See, we all know that Michael never truly loved Trevor back the same way. He used them, and when I say this, I make it sound like the bros were in a deep and loving relationship, but Michael was the one only looking to clap some cheeks. I mean, yeah, they were close, but to Michael, Trevor was always this tool. A weapon to be unleashed. Then shoved back in the closet when things got too real. He didn't like the fact that he was around his kids, around his wife, and he didn't like the fact that in a way Trevor was more of an honest man than Michael was. And when Michael faked his death and entered witness protection, he didn't just disappear. He let Trevor believe he died in that failed job in North Yankton. That in itself broke Trevor more than anything else in his already miserable life. Because if you remember, everyone in Trevor's life abandoned him. His dad, his mom, the military, and now the only person he trusted with everything did as well. Except this time, it wasn't just abandonment, it was full-on betrayal. A lie that would end up lasting for years. So when eventually Trevor finds out Michael is still alive, he kinda spirals even more and goes from one catastrophe to another, creating havoc everywhere he goes. And when I say havoc, I truly mean havoc. This man created a nuclear-grade emotional meltdown with a side of gasoline and a homemade flamethrower. Trevor doesn't just take the betrayal personally, he turns it into a mission. A crusade of swords against everything that's fake. If Michael is gonna live a fake Hollywood life, Trevor's gonna burn down every fake person, fake drug operation, and fake friendship in his own backyard before dealing with the thing that caused him most of the pain in his last 10 years. In his head, this crusade is not just about getting revenge. It's about cleaning up the mess and tying up loose ends. We all know how his immediate reaction upon realizing Michael is alive is to destroy the lost MC and put them out of business. Now, you could argue that maybe if Johnny didn't nag him about Ashley, they would have potentially been spared. But considering the fractured state that he was in after finding out the truth, I highly doubt it. After that, he goes after the O'Neill brothers, the Estacas, and pretty much every single faction that he felt needed to be dealt with. This, in a way, to me, feels like a big fuck you to Michael. He was like, oh, I'm gonna show this asshole that I'm perfectly capable of building out an entire criminal empire and being a kingpin of soul. The destruction he caused wasn't just random. In reality, it was calculated and targeted. Unlike everyone's favorite man with a plan, Dutch Plandelin, Trevor actually had a plan.
This is all going to plan.
He knew he needed to clean house and become something more than an unhinged crazy guy that everyone sees him as. In a way, he saw himself as the king of Blaine County. It was his kingdom after all. Not many would really consider the man to be a highly intellectual individual, but when you think about it, he actually is really smart. And yes, I did say that. He uses and leverages people in a way that would make Dutch jealous. His relationships are built on fear and respect for the uncertainty of his actions. I mean, he basically makes people afraid to make a move against him. Even the government itself is like, hell nah, we ain't touching that. Michael, Franklin, you do. And fear in a world like GTA's is currency in itself. It's the thing that buys you enough freedom to not worry about why someone's approaching you. By the time the story is halfway through, Trevor is on top of his own little empire. People owe him, people fear him, but somewhere deep down, he's still that kid who just wanted to fly planes and be loved. But now, after everything, that kid's buried under years of betrayal and a pile of broken teeth. And yet, Trevor still can't let Michael go. He still holds onto that bond, that dream that maybe one day they could still be the team that they once were. The thing about Trevor is that he doesn't really know how to let go of anything. That's not really a gear his brain comes with. He doesn't do closure, he does chaos. And when emotions hit him too hard, he doesn't talk about it. He just erupts like a volcano, hellbent on destroying the last remnants of civilized life. This, coming from a man like Trevor, isn't just madness for the sake of being edgy. It's not haha funny GTA man, angry go boom. Now, this is textbook trauma response that, when you take a deeper look, is wrapped in blood, duct tape, and a Canadian accent. If anything, he was a perfect candidate to be in the US military, if he was a young man during the Vietnam War. When we take a bit of a deeper look into his mind, Trevor's mind is like a pressure cooker. From the outside, it looks like he's just flipping out all the time, but under the hood, there's always something simmering. Be it guilt, grief, fear, or a bottomless pit of abandonment issues. He's constantly battling with this feeling that the world is out to leave him behind again. So to avoid that, he strikes first, pushes people away, and tries to control everything around him. Because if you decide to leave him, you die. And if you try to get too close, you will get burned. It's a textbook example of how a teenage goth/emo kid would be feeling after years of childhood abuse. And in a way, Trevor fits that description perfectly. Of course, with added benefits of being a total psycho as well as a full-on cannibal. It's why he'll scream at Ron 1 second, then tell him he's the only person who understands him the next. It's why he'll laugh like a maniac while kicking someone into a ditch, then quietly fix Patricia's bed so she can sleep peacefully. And while we're on the topic of Patricia, let's talk about her and Trevor for a second. When Trevor kidnaps Martin Madrazo's wife, you would expect another unhinged nightmare. Some awful sleazy subplot that ends with him killing her in a rage-induced moment. But instead, he treats her better than Martin ever did. He respects her in his own twisted way, and he brings her gifts and talks to her like a human being. And for a moment, the whole mask of insanity slips. You can finally see someone aching for a real connection, for something genuine. I mean, in one of the most raw, unexpected twists in GTA 5, Trevor proves something to the player. Trevor proves that he has the capacity to care. He proves that it's not just the chaos and destruction up in that Temple of Doom. He proves that he just wants to be loved. But unfortunately for him, he just doesn't know how to handle it without setting the house on fire first. And that brings us to the real psychological twist. Trevor isn't insane. He's just wounded. And the entire subplot with Mrs. Madrazo proves that. A grown man with mommy and daddy issues that in a way translate to the way he treats both Martin and his wife.
Better treat her right, man! I will, amigo! Otherwise, yeet the other ear!
And it's not just them that experience his wrath and kindness. We can see it with his interaction with Michael and his kids, with Franklin and Lamar, who Trevor in a way respects more than Franklin, as he kind of sees himself in Lamar.
Favorite gangbangers.
All of these things bring us to conclude that his character is built entirely out of contradictions. He absolutely hates liars, but lies to himself all the time about how he feels. He's loyal, but destructive to the point where the loyalty doesn't matter. He wants family, but he destroys everyone who tries to get close. And that's why he's so fascinating, because he's not a villain, nor a hero. He's not even an anti-hero. Trevor is just raw humanity, stripped of all the filters we as humans put on to be able to function in a higher form of society. But unlike most of us, Trevor just says the quiet part out loud. He acts on instinct and feels everything, just way too hard and way too fast.
Our Scooter Brothers! Scooter Brother!
And yeah, he does unspeakable things. He's not redeemable in the traditional sense of the word, and if he was a protagonist in the Red Dead Redemption universe, that game would probably be just called Red Dead. But the more you peel back the layers, the more it becomes clear he's not just the crazy one. He's the honest one. And in a world full of phonies, Trevor's the guy who screams the truth through a megaphone, naked and covered in motor oil, running after Wade like it's a hillbilly version of a Diddy party.
Oh, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
In the end, when all is said and done, when he swallows his pride and an irresistible urge to kill Michael, he, in a way, gets closure. The big one, being the biggest job that they ever done, is one, if not the best mission in GTA 5. And in it, you can see what Trevor was all about this entire time. He didn't care about the take. He cared about experiencing that same old feeling that he once had with his boys. Of course, he knows things can never be the same again, but having the opportunity to just experience the same old beautiful feeling of being inside of the action with his best pal Michael meant everything to him. He just wanted to be a part of a family, even if that family was dysfunctional and had 12 fingers on their hands. He didn't care. He just wanted Michael to finally admit, yeah, I screwed up. I left you and you didn't deserve that. But Michael never really did that. He isn't wired like that.
I'm in love with you.
Trevor can burn down a farmhouse, hijack a train, take down a gang, hell, he can even carry half the game on his back with a bottle of gasoline and a dirty t-shirt, but he can't force the people he loves to be honest with him. And for me, in a way, that is the biggest tragedy of GTA 5. After the big one is out of the way and the smoke clears, we as a player are presented with a choice. Either kill Trevor, Michael, or
Be really stupid and save those two idiot mentors of yours and have everybody in the goddamn state crawling up your ass.
Now, if you choose anything other than option C, I genuinely hope that you can sleep at night and are not being haunted by ghosts of your past. But if you did choose option C for a final time in the game, you can see Trevor in all his glory. With this option, you keep all three characters alive and end up uniting this dysfunctional family one last time. And in this ending, Trevor really shines the brightest out of all three characters. He is still willing to help his family and still ready to kill for people who once thought that he was disposable. And that's not just loyalty, that's depth. And here's what's wild. When Trevor finally confronts the people who have been pulling the strings the whole game, he doesn't go berserk, he doesn't scream, he just executes the plan perfectly without letting his emotions take over. Now that's actual growth. That's true character development, and that's Trevor becoming something more than just a meme. Because beneath the meth, the murder, and the mayhem, Trevor Philips is still a character study in pain, love, and loyalty. In a weird way, he's a mirror of the player, and Rockstar even said this, showing us the parts of ourselves we don't want to look at, the parts that scream when we're lied to, the parts that chase love with everything they've got, and the parts that would rather burn everything down than live in someone else's fantasy. So yeah, Trevor might be loud, but only because no one listened when he was quiet. And in the end, he might just be the most real character Rockstar has ever created. The only guy everyone initially dismissed as a lunatic might have been the only one telling the truth. And when you really give it a good thought, he wasn't the crazy one. He was just the only one brave enough to stop pretending that the world isn't a dark and cruel place. And look, I'm not saying that the man's a saint. He definitely is not. He is still, Trevor.
People are not very fucking nice.
But when everything is said and done, when all the bodies are buried and the last piece of Devin Weston is nibbled down by sea creatures, Trevor will still be standing with a baseball bat in one hand and loyalty in the other one. And that's what makes this character so damn unforgettable, at least for me.
What are you doing smoking, huh? No, that's bad for you, don't you know, huh?
Anyways, let me know what you think of Trevor as a character, and if you'd rather have him or Michael Bell as your right-hand man and best friend. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and a big thank you to all the 755 people that ended up subscribing. You folks are the best. If you haven't already, please feel free to hit that like button, and of course subscribe for a chance to win an RTX 7090 card once this channel reaches 10 million. Stay silly, keep edging, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.